Hey, why are agents begging me to sell my house? Before you say, I'm going to sell my house, there are some things that you should know other than agents just want to earn a big fat commission. Hi, I'm Anthony Nitz. It's been long perceived by the public at large that the average real estate agent is a millionaire. People see them driving around in a fancy Mercedes-Benz or a BMW and assume that they are doing well for themselves. This creates the allure of becoming an agent oneself. I've heard it said by many people looking into becoming an agent that they know some guy or girl who's a real knucklehead, and if they can have all that success, then surely it's easily achieved by anyone. Thus, they begin their journey of studying and test taking to get their not so difficult to get real estate salesperson license. The thing that no one told them about that fancy agent is that most of them are either in debt up to their eyeballs, or they have a spouse who works at a high-paying job and brings in enough money to cover the everyday bills. Now, how do I know this? Well, while helping manage several real estate offices over the years, my heart was broken over and over again by the cries of agents who are human people who would come to me and they would share that if they don't close a deal this month, then their car would get repossessed. They would get evicted. They would, in one case, go to jail for not paying child support. Fill in the blank. I've heard it all. However, it wasn't for lack of training or knowledge. The numbers just weren't in their favor. They weren't on their side. Here's some of the numbers. Something that these agents were not told before they got into this illustrious business was that they were set up to fail even before they began. Let me explain. In Orange County, California, where I work, there were 3 real estate boards or associations. These are the boards that the agents belong to that give them their membership benefits and access to the multiple listing service. It also allows them to use the trademarked realtor designation, which adheres them to a strict code of conduct and ethics. Now, you can almost kind of compare that to a union of sorts, sort of. In my brief research, in total, I was able to estimate that there were approximately 24,365 agents as active members. Now note, these are only estimates that I was able to extract from various resources or squeeze from an insider. The associations don't appear to want to give these numbers out freely for some reason. I don't know why. Also, let me clarify my definition of an active member. In my opinion, it is anyone whose membership dues are current and in good standing. And some people would argue that just because they're paying dues doesn't mean that they're actively selling properties. And, I wholeheartedly agree. However, I do contend that if any one of those 24,365 agents were contacted and asked to take one of my listings away from me, would they jump on it? Yeah, of course they would, in a heartbeat. Okay, back to the numbers. In January 2016, per the local MLS, only 1,823 homes were sold. Now keep in mind that commissions on these homes are shared with a buyer's agent. So in essence, assuming that not a single agent in Orange County participated in a sale with more than one buyer or seller, then that would mean that there were 3,646 or 1823 times 2 commissions paid out to agents. Again, assuming that everything was equal and 3,646 agents earned a commission in January, that leaves the other 20,719 agents who didn't get paid a penny in January. The reality is that some of those transactions were listed and sold by the listing agent, and many agents represented more than one buyer or seller in January. I know I did. So what's the possible sell my house solution? What do you do as a home seller? As a prospective home seller, again, what the question is, what do you do? Do you hire someone who hasn't sold a home in a while because, they're probably more hungry? I've heard that one. In my not so humble opinion, the answer is no. It's not because they don't deserve the shot. Everybody has to start somewhere. I've trained some brand spanking new agents who were destined for success in this business. They had the right mindset and they were committed to learning their stuff. But think about it like this. If you were suddenly arrested for some horrible crime that you didn't commit, of course, would you really want some young stud who just passed the bar to stand before the jury and plead your case? What if you got that awful beast, cancer? Would you be okay with some elderly woman who retired from her aerospace job just 6 months ago after 35 years and had never taken anyone's temperature professionally? Would you want her to treat you for your illness? I hope not. Not at least without oversight by a highly experienced, well-trained professional or agent. Now let me tell you a story. A past client of mine decided that they were going to sell their condo. This is a client that I had done business with on a couple of occasions, and I thought we had a really good relationship. Of course, I assumed that I would get the listing when she sold, but I was surprised when she told me that she was going to hire her neighbor. I knew her neighbor. We actually worked out of the same office. Now imagine my surprise as of that date, her neighbor had never sold a single property. Not one. Why would my client do this? Well, my ex-client told me she was hiring her because she felt sorry for her. The agent was struggling and the client wanted to let her earn the commission. Well, the agent finally did sell the condo. Now, I was horrified when I saw the results. She outright sold the condo for more than $40,000 less than the current comparable sales. Really? Then this agent went on to represent the client in the purchase of her move-up purchase. Now, why was I not surprised when they just offered full price right out of the gate? The point is, feeling sorry for someone is an emotional decision, and in business we can't afford that. And it can cost you as a home seller tens of thousands in commissions. The seller would have been better off hiring an experienced agent so they could realize the additional $40,000 in proceeds and then turned around and wrote a personal check for $10,000 to the person that they were trying to help. They would have come out way better in the end. So the next question is then, do I hire the neighborhood expert? It just depends, really. If you do your research on someone and they prove to have the experience and the technological skills to expose your property to the masses, then yes, perhaps they'll be a good fit. A word of caution though, make sure that they understand the technology used in real estate sales today. Many, if not most, they don't. As a result, they can't possibly leverage the expanse of the internet beyond what the MLS offers to get you the exposure that you deserve. Now, here's something else to consider when looking at the neighborhood expert. One reason many people hired me and not their neighborhood expert was quite simply that they didn't want all their personal business ending up in the neighborhood rumor mill. The neighborhood expert thrives on developing friendships in the neighborhood to get the future business. And there's a potential for both good and bad for you. Aside from the rumor mill, here's another example of why that might not work out for you. And you have to consider it. Let's say that the agent has become very good friends with a neighbor down the street who has a similar floor plan to yours. They both go to each other's parties. They watch each other's kids and sometimes just get together for a glass of wine or a barbecue. Now, suddenly, they decide to put their home on the market at the same time you decide to put your home on the market with the same agent. While that agent would never admit it, or sometimes they don't even realize it, but they are emotionally attached to that family and they don't want to let them down. So you have to ask, do they work harder to get that other home sold? In the end, who really knows? But it is something worthy of consideration. In the end of the day, it comes down to two big no-nos of hiring a listing agent. Number one, don't hire agents emotionally. Find the one who is best suited for the job. And number two, don't be lazy about interviewing agents and doing your research. If you are, then it will cost you thousands. I hope this has caused you to think a little bit before putting your home up for sale. Of course, if you have any questions about real estate in general or about hiring the right agent in Orange County, California, feel free to contact me directly. I'm happy to chat with you. In the meantime, hey, feel free to check out some of the cool listings on the link on the bottom of this page. God bless. Take care. Talk to you soon.